However, she heard it. Rika swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey Rika. What is it? If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening. Had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything. Really. Still, Tomitake and Takano, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit what had happened that night, though, she would suddenly do a 180 as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika was the Shrine Maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Yeah, but you'll never fucking know until you ask for forgiveness. Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mio no Hiroishi? God damn it. Rika could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say, Keiichi. If you really are sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate, given the crazy way Tomitake and Takano died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into big droplets of sweat which began to fall. Keiichi? Rika suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head. I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi. I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika's palm could reach it. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat. Do you know about the big storehouse a little way behind the shrine grounds? It stores the implement we use for rituals. Fuck that. My breath literally stopped. Rika wasn't acting in a coercive way at all. Apparently on the night of a festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse. A cat? Yeah, a cat. Meow meow. Aw, Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me. The cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside. The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takano. Or wait, was it supposed to be me? Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat. Rika made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, clatter, shiver, shiver, meow, meow, it was terrible. This cat, who are you saying it was? No one, it's a cat. The cat is a cat. See? Meow, meow. Aw. Rika still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me. Rika, please tell me. The cat, what should it do now? Apologize. 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 Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat. The cat is just a cat, so it can just keep meowing and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine? That's stupid. Shouldn't it just keep meowing? Jeez, Rika and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I'd already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now that's enough. It can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat, making mischief and sneaking inside. The dog. That's right. It was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. After I said that, Rika's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I'd already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika. The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika grinned. It's alright. I'll protect the cat. Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words, so dependable they were. The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all the dogs are just misunderstanding. It's not all that bad? The cat is worrying too much. So basically, Keiichi calmed the fuck down. I'll do something about it for sure. Rika will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika didn't look all that dependable. It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Aw. Go for it, yeah! She clenched her fist and stuck it up in the air. Rika said that the cat can just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing? Will you really be alright, Rika? If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs too. I had no idea what Rika was talking about anymore. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and leave it to her. Rika straightened up once again and patted me on the head and smiled. I was so moved by the reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. God damn it, Keiichi. I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. I didn't think any of this would. It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why it should never have seen the storehouse. She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. And you're still a dumbass. It's a dumbass cat. It needs to be fucking put down. God, had Rika said that, I probably would have shit myself and like, oh my god, that's fucked up, Rika. That's why they made it so difficult to look at it in the first place, wasn't it? Rika, what happened to the cat? Two of the cats that snuck in, well, that night, I'd heard Tomitake and Takano's deaths were being kept secret. Rika might not know about it. Tomitake and Takano? I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names. Though it's weird to do that at this point. You should forget about them. Fuck them. They're pieces of shit. Accidents, happy little mistakes. My spine froze again. Forget? Yeah. It won't do any good to remember those two, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible. She said something so enormously terrifying, without letting the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub. Forget. Rika, you know, don't you? You know how those two died? No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi. Oh, that's good. Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me was innocent and lovable, even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. What about Shion? What happened to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika saw through everything anyway. Yeah, there's no fucking point. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point. The younger of the sister cats? Meow meow. Yeah, The little sister cat. Rika appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence. The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad. The big sister cat. That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday. Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while. Not in a good mood. Those words sent a shiver through me. Mion was mad. Obviously. You pissed her the fuck off. One, because you lied again. You hung out with Shion again. You know, all the stuff that you're doing to piss her off. She was mad that we entered this ritual storehouse. Let's stop having club from now on. Huh? Why? I think we should leave her alone. Rika ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. I don't agree. I don't think that'll solve any problems. I think it needs to be hashed out, brought to attention, just drag the fucker out, pull all the ugly wound out of it, clean it up, get everything out in the open, and what happens, happens. I don't think pushing it under the rug and saying, nope, everything's fine, don't worry about it, nothing to see here. I think that's the wrong approach you can take in this kind of situation. At least that's my opinion on that. Hey Keiichi Maebara, don't disobey Rika right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano and Tometake and what I did that night. Oh, look, lunchtime's over. Just then we heard a bell far away marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should go back to class. Keiichi. As if she had noticed how miserable I was, about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika called out to stop me. If the misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat, please tell me, okay? The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog? The dog that bit the mayor. Oh, fuck me. Oh, shit. Oh, God, that's really fucked up, though, honestly. So does she mean, like, the curse? Or actual people? I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika had admitted it. The sacrifice of that terrible calamity, she admitted that if they were to happen again, it wouldn't be Shion or I. Yes, I didn't know what was true about the girl standing right before me. My suspicion gave way to fear, and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true. I think I can trust her. I'm sorry. The cat is already scared, and I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry. Rika bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika reached her hand out to pat my head on the head, I pulled away without thinking. Aw. I'm so... Rika made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out of my head for her again. Aw. She didn't do anything wrong. That day Rika said she wasn't feeling up for club activities that day, so she suggested we not bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Rena and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. I still think we just need to hash it out right in the open. Keiichi, you need to stop lying to people. Just get it over with. Fuck it. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into my futon in my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? I think so. The more I look back on it, the less I understood what Rika was saying. Not only did she know about Takano and Tomitake's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? Should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have showed her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly a knock. I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was. Keiichi, I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call. It's from Sonozaki. Please be Mion. Sorry, Dad, you're mom now. Please be Mion. Please be Mion. I want to fucking have a conversation and hash everything out with her. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in the door. Sonozaki, which one? The older sister or the younger? I don't know. Ask her yourself. You lazy piece of shit. I took the receiver and buried myself in my futon again. Hello? Mion? Or is it Shion? It's me. Shion. Good evening. I practically jumped out of the bed. It was Shion, who I hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion, sorry about last night. I got all riled up. I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end. You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything you like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, so please cheer up. I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgiven me. You're right, too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. Bullshit, it isn't. I have Rika on my side. Fuck you. You can go die. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have. God, that's still so fucking weird sounding. I don't know. I hate that weird sounding way of phrasing it. So that we don't die like Takano and Tomisake-san did. I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. So let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? Yeah, I'll be fine. Firstly, it seemed sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. You know, with traditions, it's always safe to assume the taboo's probably fucking huge. Takano and Tomitake, their miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe that. The culprits killed those two, the ones responsible for sullying the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you wanted to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay? I got it. You can never be too careful after all. Fucker. I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at the Museum of Torture Devices deserves his death like that, I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. Keiichi, you're a dumbass, and you probably deserve it. Let's report everything we noticed that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them, or maybe even the truths behind the incidences of the previous years. We could find the key that resolves everything. You're right. You're right about that. Thank you. All I do was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I began embarrassed over how passive I was being. Then I'll start since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately. Oh, no one's been watching me, so fuck you. What? It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination. Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me. I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on the day. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. I see. Then I suppose it was my imagination, but you be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Okinomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Hinamizawa. There'll be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful. You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful. Also about my sister, has she been acting strange lately? Your sister? Oh, Mion, right. What do you mean by acting strangely? Well, yesterday, she came to me and asked me where I was on the Watanagashi. What? She asked me too. The day before yesterday, I think, Mion asked me. I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say? I did the same thing. No, I said I don't remember. You know, the ultimate and bullshit answers. I just dodged the question. Ugh. Always actually answer it. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting strangely. Real talk though, I'd still throw them all under the bus, fuck them. Mion asked me, yeah, Shion drugged me in there. Same with Takano and Tomitake. I did not want to go in there, I just wanted to watch Rika perform. And I got out of there as soon as fucking possible. They barred me from leaving the storehouse. And fuck Shion because she drugged me there. She lied to me. You know that kind of stuff. Fuck 'em. I don't give a shit. I want to live. Ever since the night, acting strangely. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of the Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary. At least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice. Got it. I'll start being careful. I always have Rena with me on my way back from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often. You act like that's a bad idea. I want that to happen. Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Alright. What's bothering me is that I got looped into this. Okay, then is there anything you wanted to tell me, Kei-chan? My turn. That's right, maybe I should report on Oishi asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that time you were too slow to escape? Yeah. Oishi asked me pretty forcibly whether I was with Takano and Tomitake that night, and whether I'd seen you. Oishi seemed to have seen the four of us together. From the police's point of view, that would make us the last people who had seen them alive. I suppose given that, it's only natural that they'd be interested in us. I evaded the question then, too, but that might have just made them more interested. There was no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Oishi. My troubled countenance would have only made him even more certain. Hey Shion, since they're the police, shouldn't we just tell them? No, fuck them. I mean, considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing. When was the last time a police could shoot a ghost? And a demon and a spirit of God? She didn't answer my question right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it. So hot. Nah, fuck her. I don't care. No feelings towards Shion. Ever since she drugged me in that cursed ass place, fuck her. Seriously. She can fucking go die, and I won't give a shit. Honestly, the worst thing could happen to her, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, huh, you fucking deserved it, you bitch. And then Keiichi gets, fucked up as well, like he loses his arms or something. Like, rips him limb from limb, damn construction site thing. I'll laugh at him and say, fuck you, you deserved it too, you dumbass. Now that I was thinking of it, Oishi said there was something possibly shady about Mion. At least I think that's what he said. Yeah, he definitely did. As I explained yesterday, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of influence over Hinamizawa. Oishi's under the impression that the whole village, with the Sonozaki at the center of it all, is responsible for the recurrent freak deaths. Still need to fucking marry into that family. Need some fucking money. The whole village is behind them, with the Sonozaki family at the center. Please don't get angry like you did yesterday and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset. During the Hinamizawa Dam Wars, the priest who everyone was anticipating to lead the anti-dam movement acted as though he were unrelated. So the Sonozaki main house rose up to take charge. My sister told you about all the battles that happened, right? Yeah. All of Hinamizawa got together and fought as one. They held protests, brought it to court, and even appeared on TV. In reality, there were many things that happened that were far more extreme. Under the surface, the Sonozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppress it. They were acting illegally? For example, they would sneak into the construction site in the middle of the night and steal equipment or break it, or put sugar cubes in the gasoline tanks on the construction vehicles. Clever. Sugar in their gasoline tanks? Yeah, it ruins it. Why would they? It completely fucks it over. You don't know? It's practically the representation of guerrilla tactic. It was used by underground organizations in France in World War II for one. When you put sugar in the engine gets burned out and breaks down. That's pretty bad though, isn't it? It was destruction of property and nothing less. The problem is if they didn't do it, they wouldn't have won. So I would rather a bunch of equipment be broken than a bunch of people get displaced or die. So I'd rather have that. When they beefed up the guard at the construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. The government officials who had given permission to the construction, for example, received all kinds of threats. Not just people from the prefectural office, either. Apparently, this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I've heard, they even kidnapped a child once. Oh my god, that's fucked up. Kidnapped? Yeah. The child of an important person of the Ministry of Construction who was in charge of the Hinamizawa Dam got spirited away. Then one day, all of a sudden, he was rescued in the Taketsudo Mountains, which are upstream from Hinamizawa. Apparently, there were never any criminal accusations, but people whispered that it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. No shit. Besides that, there are stories about so many different threats that I couldn't possibly list them all. That's sort of bad, isn't it? Not sort of bad, it is pretty bad. Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened. That's when the dismemberment of the construction manager occurred. People whispered that the Sonozaki family had bought out the principal offender, but of course he fled and they still haven't found him. When she put it that way, the Sonozaki family definitely seemed suspicious. Alicia even seems to think that the criminal was erased so he wouldn't talk, which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think. that the Sonozaki main house is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them. Are you telling me you believe that? That the Sonozaki main house where Mion lives has done all these bad things? You're telling me to believe it? Fuck you. I put my trust in Mion. I don't care. Ride or die with Mion. Come on. Even if you don't, Kei-chan, the villagers do. While they opposed the dam in upright and lawful ways, the Sonozaki family did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so that they'd take the brunt of the criticism. So they're respected as a sort of heroes of darkness. I think I only really know one part of it. For example, the really bad stuff like the kidnapping, I think only a handful of people even know about, including Grandma. The Sonozaki family is secretive, after all. Secretive, huh? A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonozaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin Mion was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain. My sister thought, though young, was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement. Mion was? What do you mean? Well, her dad is a big-shot Yakuza. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all sorts of tricks on them and just generally got in their way. Mion did that? Now she's pretty laid back, so it might be hard to imagine. They put her in a charge of everything from property damage to threats and even acts of violence. Though since she was a kid, they could get her released pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon. It may have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. I mean, if she's being told by her family, it's not exactly her fault. But even then, it's just her staunchly believing in what is right. I can't really blame her.